Hello, everyone. Welcome. Check, check, check. Hope you guys are all enjoying New Living Expo for this lovely Friday evening. My name is Francie. I'm a Reiki master, psychic medium, and angelic channel, as well as teacher and author. And I want to ask you guys, why are you sick? Show of hands, how many of you personally suffer from or know somebody that suffers from chronic illness and disease? Okay, almost everybody. So first of all, I'm sorry if you're going through that or for your loved ones. It can be debilitating, sometimes not getting the answers you're seeking from traditional medicine, right? How many of you here are looking for answers as to why you got sick in the first place and know that there's something that hasn't been found out yet? You've gone to all the doctors, you've done all the tests, and there's still a question mark. You look fine, your blood work comes back clean, there shouldn't be anything wrong with you. Sound familiar? A couple people, yeah. So what I'm going to do today is share with you some of the patterns that I had seen after working with clients for over 17 years, either at the Breast Cancer Connection in Palo Alto for 4 years, or for the Medicinal Marijuana Clinic Harborside for additional 4 years, or as a Reiki master for 17 years. I came from a scientific background. I studied physics at UC Berkeley. I was a data analyst for high-tech companies for about 20 years before I started doing this work. So as I was doing healing work, I noticed patterns and how we form illnesses, and that our bodies are really trying to tell us there's something wrong on an emotional and a mental level. And it's manifesting physically. So whenever we treat something physically, it's just a Band-Aid. Until we get at the original root cause, the emotional and mental trauma, anything you do externally, massage, acupuncture, chiropractic, pills, surgery, it's only going to be a temporary fix until you identify that root cause. Here's the thing that gets people messed up. Whenever we get sick or something hurts, we think, what just happened? What was I going through? When we have a cold or a flu, we're like, oh, I was run down. No wonder I got sick. But when we have something that's chronic, like cancer, fibromyalgia, Crohn's, it's not what's going on in your life right now. It's something that happened to you, traumatic, 2 years before your first symptoms started. 2 years after my mom got her cancer diagnosis, her uterine cancer diagnosis, she had empty nest syndrome. The last child that she cared for her whole life was all about being a mother. And the moment that last child left the house, her womb ate away at her. But it took 2 years from that mental and emotional trauma to then manifest physically. Heartache, breast cancer, that lack of love, so giving so much of your love energy to everybody else that you're not leaving enough reserves for yourself. I had one of my clients who had a very rare blood cancer, whose one red cell was eating the white cell. I can't remember exactly what it was, but one cell was eating the other. And we went back to when was his first symptom, not diagnosis, first symptom. And then we went backwards in time 2 years. And he identified a job where he felt like he was being attacked from all sides. When we went back emotionally and healed that through Reiki, cord cutting, some books, and he got some therapy as well, the cancer went away and did not return. So what I'd love to do is ask for some volunteers to try to help you guys understand what might be going on with you personally, and then some brave volunteers. And then we'll do a group healing to try to heal some of that for everybody in the room, okay? So who has a chronic disease that doesn't mind being filmed, that doesn't mind sharing? Would you like to come up? Would you like to sit or stand, which is more comfortable for you?
Probably stand.
Okay, stand. Is that okay?
Is that okay?
Okay. And your name, my dear?
Catherine.
Catherine. And tell me, if you don't mind sharing, what is going on? What is your kind of chronic issue?
Well, I've been a nurse for 30 years, so like you said, I take care of everybody
else.
Myself.
Yeah.
And so the doctor diagnosed me with Hashimoto's, like my thyroid is attacking myself.
Yep. Yeah. So thyroid issue, and when was the first, I know that with Hashimoto's there's not a lot of symptoms that show up right away, but if you can go back in time, when was the first time you noticed it? Not necessarily diagnosis, but first time you noticed an issue.
The first time I noticed was when I started working with mentally ill residents that were like violent towards me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And that's got to be really traumatic. So what was going on in your life 2 years before that job, before that specific? Anything that revolved around speaking your truth, communication, feeling like you're getting the words out?
Well, most of my life has been like that. Like my family, my dad was very controlling and do as I say.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have a voice, pretty much, when I was little.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I can see the emotion coming up from that too. That's hard. How many of you guys can relate to that? I suffer from that too. Being the youngest of 5, your voice doesn't matter.
I was very strict.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, even like now, I found out that my dad, like, my mom and dad gave like everything to my brother, and like me and my sister get nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's like we have no value.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you're going through that. So if you can see that emotion coming up, that's the first thing that triggered you, right? If you treat that emotional trauma, there's a couple different ways we can do that. That should hopefully alleviate some of the physical symptoms of the Hashimoto's, right? So some things that are great for the throat chakra. So we all have chakras all over our body. The main ones that give us the problems are the 7 ones up and down that you can see here. And I've got handouts. So if those of you who came in a little later, I've got handouts for you before you leave. And so the throat chakra is all about expression, feeling like you're being heard, getting your words out. When you have somebody that you're unable to communicate with, a parent, maybe somebody that's deceased, or an ex, or a boss.
Now, my mom.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. What you can do to express yourself, and you mentioned your dad too, get out a physical piece of paper and pen and write those people letters. Pour out your feelings. The things that you weren't able to express, get it all out on the page. Not your phone, not your computer, not your iPad. It's got to be physical writing. And that exercises it out of your system, and it keeps it from getting locked in here. You're kind of opening this up by writing. Don't give them the letters. That's not a good idea.
I made the mistake of that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Don't ever do that.
No. Take the letter and then safely burn it. And through the flames, like, I release you, I release you, I release you. And that does wonders for opening this up and clearing the throat blockages that you might have.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions for me?
No, just is there anything else besides that?
Yeah, so the other thing too, that's very common for a client, if you came to me to see me in my office, is I would do some cord cutting as well. So the fact that you brought up your dad and you brought up your history, we have energetic cords of attachments to our old traumas. And so what I would do is through Reiki healing, I would connect you to the cords of attachments that aren't healthy for you, and we would remove those to also help to kind of free you from that past. Yeah. Thanks for coming up. I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. And round of applause for her, coming for being brave. Thank you. My job, again, is not to heal you, is to help shine a light to help you heal yourself. It's a lot more powerful that way. I love teaching my students, my clients, how to fish versus catching all the fish for them, right? So I hope that helps. But feel free, you've got my info. Feel free to reach out if you need any extra help, okay? Anybody else that's struggling with trying to figure out, yes, you want to come up? Come on up. Hi, would you like to sit?
I'm short, so I'll just stand.
Okay. And your name?
Kathy.
Catherine, yeah. Kathy. So tell us, if you don't mind sharing, what is it that you're suffering from?
I have an itching problem that it's mostly on my feet, and it's like you just want to scratch your skin off.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling the doctors it's a nerve issue, and they keep treating it as a skin issue.
Mm-hmm.
It started when my ex was living with me, and when he started to talk, I would start to scratch. So I know that's connected.
Let me guess, it's on the right side then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the right side of our body is the masculine, the left side of our body is the feminine. When we have a male in our life that's a pain in the you-know-what, we develop illness on that side. You'll know because you've got issues, multiple issues on just that one side and not on the other. That means either there's an imbalance of masculine and feminine within yourself, or there's a masculine in your life that's a pain in the butt. So same thing, energetic cord cutting, letter writing, and then burn it. And then for an ex, and this is good for anyone who's trying to kind of move on from past exes in their lives, get rid of all the stuff, material objects that he either bought for you,
Done.
furniture you shared, all of that.
Jewelry away, give
Good.
all the everything.
Because even if you energetically cut those cords, but like let's say you go back to an apartment that you guys still shared, in a bed that you still had, it's going to undo everything we just
I
did.
need a new mattress.
You need say that again?
I need a new mattress.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, go treat yourself to a new
Yeah.
mattress. Okay, so let's talk about though where it's manifesting. So it's not just the right side, but where is it exactly?
It's here. And I do have it on this side, but you're right, it started on this, and this was really severe. Gets better, it gets worse, and when I get stressed out, it's connected to stress.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so the legs are tied to the root chakra, which is our base chakra, and it has to deal with our fight or flight response. It's what's tied to our adrenal glands. And so when you're in stress, right, the legs will respond to that. Anything basically from the tailbone down is tied to the root chakra, which is, again, food, shelter, money, safety, security. Your basic human needs to survive. It's in those handouts I gave you guys. Okay, so we're going to write some letters, and we're going to
Did that.
burn them. Did you burn them?
No.
Oh, well, see, it doesn't work if you don't burn them, because that means you're just holding on to that
my
energy.
sister, I'm going to have a bonfire.
You should do that. You should absolutely do that. Yeah. And the thing with feet and knees, which is interesting, is a lot of times if it's something in your foot, there's a fear, and or your knee, it's a fear of taking the next step forward. Or if it's just a knee issue, it's you're being too flexible or not flexible enough. How many here have chronic knee issues? Oh. So again, look in your life. When did that symptom first start? Is there something in your life where you're being too flexible with, or not flexible enough with, and are you afraid of taking that next step forward? I can see a smile there. I think a little light bulb went off. So hopefully that will help some. So again, anything that is skin related is also tied to the root chakra, which is your basic human needs to survive. So mitigating stress is going to be key for that. Hang on a second. I'm getting something from your guides. 1 second. And they're saying also sea salt baths will help you, because part of it is your empathic abilities. So you're pulling in energy from other people, and it's weighing you down, hon. It's weighing you down. Yeah. And so how many of you are empaths, know what that word means? Need me to explain it?
Which word?
Empath.
Oh, no, that one.
Yeah. So for those of you empaths, if you don't know what I'm talking about, on my website, franciesoya.com/resources, I've got a ton of free stuff. One of those is an article called "Congrats, You're an Empath, Now What?" And in that it talks about what it means to be an empath, and it gives you tools to kind of shield yourself as well as to kind of remove other people's energy from your system. And so you have to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Sea salt, there's something magical about sea salt. I don't know the science behind it, but it works. Not Epsom salt, not table salt, not Himalayan salt. It's got to be from the sea. 1.5 cups of that in a bath once a week, and you're going to feel 10 pounds lighter. Because as empaths, we act as sponges for everybody else's trauma. Yeah. And so by regularly cleaning your energy out of other people's junk, then you know you're dealing with just your stuff and not everybody else's stuff.
That's funny, because I just soaked my feet in salt this morning.
See, you're
I
intuitive.
had to, yeah.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, please do burn those letters, and please do try the sea salt bath. Yeah. And also anything else that's in the apartment, like the mattress, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Any questions for me?
No, but I'll probably come up with some.
Okay. Thank you so
much.
much. Round of applause. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Where do you buy sea salt?
Where do you buy sea salt? Everywhere. So yeah, you can get it, most, like Whole Foods I think has it now. Any natural store that sells groceries has sea salt. Yeah.
It says it on it.
Sea salt.
Trader Joe's has sea salt.
I get like a big bucket, dead sea salt stuff I get online, so you can find it almost everywhere. Yeah. Would anyone else need some help trying to understand their root cause? Oh, yes.
Oh, why not? Why not jump in?
Come on up.
But it's kind of private.
Well, then sit on down. Because this is being filmed. But however, I do have a booth downstairs. So if you've got some private stuff you don't want to talk about in a public setting, I'm in booth number 37. I'll be here all weekend. Yes. Yeah. Yes, my dear.
Alopecia. I always heard that like your hair is like an extended antenna of your nervous system.
Yeah.
I have alopecia. This is a wig.
Yeah.
So
It's beautiful.
Am I getting less information? Like what's the deal with that?
So her question is, for those watching, is alopecia. What's the root cause of that? Where does that come from? And so what I said earlier is that every chronic issue has a mental or emotional root cause, and it depends on the individual, right? So if I may ask you, would you like to come up?
Sure.
Okay. And what's your first name?
Deborah.
Say it one more time.
Deborah.
Welcome, Deborah.
Hi.
Hi. So if you can recall, when was the first symptom? When did you first start noticing the very first part of that?
I was 38.
Okay, so what was going on in your life when you were 36-ish?
Don't remember.
Oh, well, you got to look at your calendar and you got to see.
I was going to Burning Man a lot.
Well, hey, that's fun. So what you guys might have missed because you came in a little bit late, there's always like a traumatic event that starts the physical illness from becoming a chronic. So it takes 2 years for something mental and emotional to become physical, right? And so hair loss is all about that. Again, it's the root chakra. It's fight or flight response.
Oh God, of all that.
Okay, can we talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
So what was fight or flight for you? We're looking for major events, like it could be a death in the family, a move, a job change, a breakup in a relationship, a scary diagnosis of something else.
Mostly just stress for me. I've lived kind of paycheck to paycheck most of my life, not having scarcity.
Yeah.
It's mostly scarcity for me.
Yeah. And so I would encourage you to go back and look at your calendar to see if there's something traumatic when you're 35 or 36. That's an event that we can go back and heal from. Now, there's a couple of instances where that rule doesn't apply. When we have trauma as children, so let's say I'm going to give you a scenario. When I was 5, I was hit in the face. I was abused, as an example. I'm a parent. When my child gets to be 5 years old, that triggers my physical ailment. So that's an exception to the rule. So the 2-year rule. So if something shows up out of nowhere and you can't find a root cause to it, mentally or emotionally, 2 years before, and you're a parent, maybe look at the age your child was when your symptom first started. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do body work and I catch people's trauma all the time, so it's something I'm very, very aware of.
Yeah. Well, the empath stuff then would help you as well, kind of clearing that out some. Yeah. But I would love to work with you maybe a little bit more one-on-one, and we can try to noodle into what is that root cause.
That would be great.
Okay.
I'm so curious.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm in booth 37.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Give her a round of applause. Yeah, and it's really hard if something that you're dealing with is years and years ago and you don't remember what was going on in your history. Yes, sir, in the back.
Question, how do you know, again, with the 2-year rule,
Yeah.
if something's a bring over from a past life?
It's a great question. So the question was, how do we know if it's a bring over from a past life? A lot of times, if it starts in childhood, it's something from a past life or ancestral stuff. Usually past life stuff doesn't just show up in your 20s, 30s, 40s. It's something that you've developed in early childhood, but it really depends. Sometimes it's the same rule here. If it was, let's say you died in a past life at 35, then something when you hit 35 at this year, you can develop anxiety out of nowhere. But that's more rare. I don't see that as often as I see it from when your issue develops as a child. It's a great question, though. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Other questions? Anybody else that's struggling? Yes, ma'am.
I have a lung bacteria that I'm being treated for.
Uh-huh.
And the doctor said it was either it's present in dirt or steam. And I have no idea
Yeah.
how I got that.
So the question is, so do you mind me sharing? So she's had a diagnosis of a bacteria in her lung, and the doctors say it's either steam or like the dirt, and she doesn't know where that's coming from. Yeah. So here's the other thing to keep in mind. Wherever we get sick from whatever it is, something external, something internal, whatever it is, it's going to attack the weakest chakra first. So your lungs are tied to your heart chakra. Love relationship with yourself, love relationship with others. And so when you were diagnosed or when you had the symptom, go back 2 years. Was there anything in your life that caused you to have heartache, heartbreak, heart loss?
I was thinking about that, and not really.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes stuff is purely biological, but that's pretty rare. That's pretty rare.
I was born, I was telling my husband, I was born.
Do you want to come up here, my dear? Let's just get your full story. That way I don't have to repeat everything you're saying too. And your name, my dear?
Janet.
Say it one more time.
Janet.
Janet. Welcome, Janet.
I was born premature. It's the only thing I could maybe think of because I was small.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking there wasn't anything really traumatic like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I had pneumonia a year ago,
Mhm.
but it was present. The bacteria was present then.
Then as well. Yeah.
So
Yeah, so a lot of times too, it can also be, again, speaking your truth. The lungs are tied to your expression and your voice as well. And so anytime that you might have felt like you weren't able to get the words out or speak your truth. You know, I see this a lot with like people that suffer from car accidents. Wherever their weakest spot is what gets injured when the impact happens. And so with you, I'm feeling and sensing it was actually weaker to begin with. Wait, they're saying, hang on. I do this, sorry. I can tune into guides and angels, and what I'm hearing is actually it was not your lungs, but your immune system was really low.
I've lost a lot of weight too.
From all this.
My doctor says if it's not the lung thing, then they're going to look at something else.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is something that triggered like an autoimmune, like you've got an autoimmune thing that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. Your white blood cell is all over the place. I can kind of sense that. So make sure you get that checked out and get like your ANAs checked out as well.
What's an ANA?
ANA is a blood type. A blood test to see if you've got like a certain inflammatory type disease,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Like a lupus or a RA or something like that. But hang on, let me just hang on for a second. Please hold. Yeah, it's not lungs, it's upper. It's upper.
Here?
Yeah, it's upper in here. Boy, we're getting a lot of throat issue stuff here. There's something where you weren't able to express yourself, my dear. So maybe go back and look at the 2 years before the first symptom.
Okay.
I do feel like there might be a mold contamination happening too.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I found some in the bathroom, so I bleached it.
Yeah.
Yes, and then they were working on the restaurant next door to where I work, and I went outside, and they were in the
Spores.
sewer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just kind of thought maybe
Yeah.
something there.
That feels right too. And so there's going to, I would say, like ask your doctor or naturopathic doctor about a mold protocol to help release some of that, because I think there's spores in there. I can feel that they need to be healed. But again, it wouldn't have affected you if it wasn't weak
Yeah.
to begin with. right? And
okay.
so look into a little bit of that history of anything where you felt you weren't able to express yourself.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. I
Thank
hope
you.
that helped a little bit.
thank you, yes.
Sure. Thank you. All right, so I want to leave a little bit of time for, yes, sir, go ahead.
Sorry, quick question.
Yep.
Even a simple cold or flu or something like that, you would feel has a reason behind it?
I mean, yes and no. My thing is more chronic.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, we know when we have a cold, it's because we're run down usually, right? So that's a pretty easy one. But no, the 2-year rule really applies to chronic stuff that nothing seems to cure it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah, so I have like almost all of the above. I have like chronic body pain all
Yeah.
over my body.
Yeah.
And kind of like nervous system, like where I feel like pain, tingling.
Like RA, rheumatoid arthritis kind of stuff?
You know, like very sensitive to pain.
Okay.
And then like, you know, burning sensations in my fingertips.
Here, why don't you come up, hon? Go ahead. And your name?
Sandra.
Welcome, Sandra. So I'm sorry about your symptoms. So keep talking.
Yes, I have like shoulder pain, I have lower back pain, feet pain, my legs go numb, my arms and my hands do too. A lot of my hair is falling out a lot, but my body pain's been going on since I was a child. They used to say growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so bringing that gentleman's question up, this might be a past life issue if it started in childhood. If it's an all over body thing, skin, pain, aches everywhere, that start with the root chakra. The root chakra is your basic fundamental chakra of being a human here on earth, and it requires, safety, security, feeling financially secure, roof over your head, food on the table, and like your physical safety. Without getting too personal, as in your childhood, did you feel physically safe?
No, I have a lot of childhood trauma and just compound trauma.
I'm sorry. I could kind of sense that. I'm sorry about that, sweets. And so what I would work with you on is going back to that childhood self, healing her, letting her know that she is safe, cutting those cords to that trauma so that it's not affecting you in the present. And also, other therapies would help. If there's childhood trauma, some talk therapy or some other kinds of things I would recommend as well.
Doing that.
Okay, good. So then the energetics we could do with like cord cutting to cut those cords from that. The neat thing about Reiki too, and you can have a seat because thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause. The thing that's cool about Reiki, if those of you that aren't really familiar with it, it's like acupuncture without needles. But what's neat about it is you can go back in time. And so a lot of the things I do with my clients with childhood traumas is I will energetically bring forward the 5-year-old self, the 6-year-old self, the 7-year-old self, and have them speak to their younger selves right there. Be the adult now that wasn't there for yourself then. And that can be hugely healing. Hugely is a word I'm just going to make up now. Very healing, right? To say it wasn't your fault. I'm here for you now. You're safe now. You're stronger for it. I got you. I love you. You're worthy of love. And being that, again, that presence, that adult for your younger self now is life-changing for a lot of my clients that suffer from childhood trauma. So thank you for sharing. I'm sorry you guys are all going through different ailments and diseases. Hopefully you've gleaned some information and give you some clues to try to help you figure out why you got sick in the first place. Okay, let's do a group healing. Ready? Okay. So take some nice deep breaths, feet flat on the ground. You can keep your eyes open or closed, it's up to you. We're going to call in all of our healing guides and angels, Reiki guides, Dr. Usui, Mrs. Takada, Dr. Hayashi, to come in, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, to come into our heart space, to help us understand why we got sick in the first place, and to give us the courage and the tools and the insights we need to make ourselves well and whole again. Good. Take some nice deep breaths. Exhale out to your body, down on your feet, anything you no longer need. Stress, pain, fear. Let it all go. It's not yours to carry. Imagine those true roots growing out the bottoms of your feet, going deep into Mother Earth. So that as you exhale, the heartache, confusion, stress, down and out those tree roots. Mother Earth recycles that energy. So as you breathe back up your feet, you're breathing in purified love, purified light. Good. Drop your shoulders. Relax the muscles in your face. Relax your stomach. Know that you're exactly where you need to be, right here, right now. Good. Leave all your cares outside of this door. No one needs anything from you right now. This is your time for yourself. Now bring your attention to the very tip of your tailbone. Imagine a red ball of light representing your root chakra. Take any and all fears of lack, not having enough, not feeling safe, and send that fear, pain, stress down your legs, out your feet, into that tree root. You don't need to feel that any longer. Thank you for the lessons learned, and we now let go with light and love. Good. Bring your attention up your spine to your sacral chakra, which is in your pelvic area, and imagine a beautiful orange ball of light. Take any fear around giving birth to your dreams, any issues around addictions, any trauma or sexual abuse. Imagine that as a black tarry part of that orange ball. And send that black tarry part down those tree roots and out of your body. You don't need to live with that trauma any longer. You can fully manifest the dreams that you desire and give birth to things that you want for yourself. Good. Moving up the spine to the solar plexus, which is your stomach and your lower back. Think of all the times you felt powerless, where things were chaotic, outside of your control, where you didn't feel comfortable in your own skin. Take that feeling and exhale it down your body, out your legs, down into those tree roots, leaving a beautiful glowing sun in your solar plexus, able to step into your own true power, feeling so comfortable and so confident in your own skin. Good. moving up your spine to your heart chakra. And imagine a green and pink ball of light swirling together. Gather up all the heartache, all the heartbreak, grief, loss, lack of forgiveness. We don't need to hang on to those any longer. Take those feelings, exhale them out of your body with love and grace. Send them into your tree roots. Good. Freeing your heart for more and higher levels of love and compassion for yourself and for those around you. Good. Moving up to the throat chakra, seeing that sky blue color. Think of all the times when your voice was stifled. You weren't able to express yourself, your divine, true self of who you really are, stuck in your throat. You playing it small serves no one. We all want to hear your voice. Take that trauma from the throat chakra, stuff from childhood, where you weren't being heard, and send that down in your body, out those tree roots. Good. We don't need to be stuck in this trauma any longer. It is your choice. Beautiful. Moving up to the third eye chakra on your forehead and your lower brain. And seeing a beautiful indigo cobalt blue ball of light. Think about all the times where you had to stifle your own intuition because you didn't want to appear different. Or you were told, that can't be true. You're making things up. Any time where you felt your vision was blocked, you lacked clarity. Take that energy. Thank it for the lessons you've learned and send it back down out those tree roots, out your body. This then will allow your natural psychic abilities, your natural intuition, your own clarity, your own inner guidance system to awaken. So you'll know why you got sick in the first place. You'll know, should I go right or should I go left? Should I say yes or should I say no? Beautiful. Finally, bring your awareness to your crown chakra, the very top of your head, where there's a beautiful white ball of light with specks of lavender within it. This is your connection to your higher self. God, angels, the divine. If you suffered from religious trauma or had fear of any kind connecting with your higher self, not feeling worthy of it, not believing in it, take that energy and breathe it out. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale it down, all the way down your spine, down your legs, down your feet, and out those tree roots. Because you are a divine being of light. And connecting to Source through your crown chakra is your birthright. Anything that you are suffering from, any illness, any disease, ask your guides and angels now, because they're right next to you, to help you understand why and what you need to do to get well again. Silently ask that with your intention now and honor the first answer that comes. Good. I will send a little bit of light language your way to help aid in that. Shikina ne, Nina Shikina, Koshikina ne, Koshikina ne, Koshikana Sikina ne, Poshikina, Poshikina ne, Poshikana Sikina, Poshikana Shikina, Hoshikina ne, Hoshikina ne, Nina Siki, Nina Siki, Nina Siki, Poshikina, Poshikina, Poshikina ne, Nina Sikina ne, Nina Sikina ne, Hoshikina. Koshakina ne, koshakina, koshakina ne, koshakina ne. Take some nice deep breaths. And the last breath you take, this nice deep breath, give yourself a big hug and say, I love the hell out of me. Good. Wiggle your toes and fingertips. When you're ready to come back fully, you can open your eyes. How are we doing? Good. Awesome. Good. Hopefully you can feel some of that. Call on your angels and guides. They're there to help. Again, I am not a healer. I'm just a facilitator. If you get lost or stuck, I'm happy to help any way that I can. I will be at my booth the rest of the weekend, booth number 37. I have an office in Monterey, so if you need an excuse to come down to Monterey, put your feet in the water, come on down and see me. I teach Reiki classes, psychic classes, mediumship classes. I'm doing retreats. I've got a retreat coming up in Savannah, Georgia in November for manifestation. I'm also doing an ascension course on the 5D next Saturday in my office in Monterey. Any last minute questions? No. And I've got handouts for those of you that came in late. I've got some handouts here talking about the maps between the chakras and the mental and emotional states. So please grab them before you leave. Thank you guys so much for your attention, and give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. Oh, I hope it helps some. I hope it helped. Yes, yes, please grab one of each. There you go. I've got some more over here too.